want to collect this data and provide on-fly statistical analysis for the teachers and the parents that want on a daily basis to see the progress of the student during the intervention. So this is our project with 5 objectives. So we had to develop new technologies, especially augmented reality, for digital tools in education. The first objective was to identify existing digital technologies that is there. And this is why we have CNR with one previous European project with the interface for observation, the behaviors of the students. And we had the web-based existing literacy technology from Wordsworth Learning in Ireland, which has already been used. So we wanted to take these existing digital learning solutions that can support the teachers and the parents at home with the pupils that have actually been diagnosed with ADHD, and then monitor, will we make an impact to the concentration problems? The second objective is that we want to provide, through our data analytics and our results, good practice example where the technology has been successfully used for positive impact in education. To achieve that, we need to collaborate with certain stakeholders. So we had within the first year, HUD Ireland, which was the national NGO charity, to provide the stakeholders for the project. The fourth objective was to carry out and evaluate the pilot, and this is where we are at the moment, collecting the data, in real classroom setting. So it wasn't just a lab setting, it was the real school setting that we were actually evaluating everything. And then at the end, and that will happen in November 2019, we're going to provide a roadmap and recommendation for policymakers of how to advance and actually disrupt the education in Ireland, with also as an example for Europe to follow up. So how it all connects, 2016 we applied to DG Connect European funding, and we got the funding with an evaluation of 92%. In 2017, November, we had the kickoff meeting in Dublin, and then we sought UCD ethics approval for GDPR compliance, because we're dealing with minors, so we have to be careful and follow the GDPR process. And then April to June 2018 was a challenging period because, as you know, it's a niche group of stakeholders. So we actually recruited 117 students officially diagnosed with ADHD, and they participated in a case study. We had implementation, and we had the student assessments, and that finished up to September 2018. The whole system was finished. And then in October 2018, we rolled out in the Irish schools. Now, up until now, some schools are finished in Ireland, and now we have the post-assessments, and we plan to finish all the post-assessment of the students up until mid-June 2019. And then, of course, we have the evaluation and the full sustainability plan in progress after the November 2019. But we will report to the Commission and Department of Education end of October. Just to see the complexity and how we all work together, we've had 6 work packages. Work package 2 was the stakeholder engagement, which was really an active work package, especially for the first year of the project. Work package 3, which was led from Wordsworth Learning. It was about the AR content development, and that's the content that was developed for the web-based content of Wordsworth Learning that used to be only videos and audios and text, and now it is upgraded with augmented reality. Work package 4 was led from UCD, and we work closely with CNR. It's a system integration of actually making the web-based application based on the pattern from the one project, the previous successful project from CNR, and then we link the databases from the UCD server to Wordsworth Learning in order to collect the data and inform the users online. Work package 5, which is an active work package at the moment, and it's the evaluation of the project. And of course, work packet 6 is the dissemination and exploitation, and you can find all our activities on the website, and you will see the number of publications that we have. Now, in terms of the infographic of our students, as you can see, for the Republic of Ireland, we covered most of the counties. Yeah, so it's a good representative registered students, 117. You also note that 80% were male and 20% female, so 1 in 5 is a girl, which is kind of the standard for the diagnosis of ADHD at that age. And they're between 9 and 11 years old. That's the 4th, 5th, and 6th class primary school students. In terms of grouping the students, we had 3 groups. The control group is the group that had no intervention. So we pre-assessed them. Actually, Rita Tracy will talk about that in a minute. And they were pre-assessed in order to see how they were at the beginning of the school year in terms of their reading and spelling skills. And then they were reassessed again at the end of May at the academic year without any intervention. Group 1 was the one that had intervention with augmented reality and Wordsworth learning content. And then group 2 was the one that had the Wordsworth learning content but without the augmented reality solution. Just in terms of some data from our students, I think those teachers that are familiar with teaching students with ADHD might find lots of similarities from their own case studies. You can see that 100% of our students had difficulty staying focused, and most of them as well, 97% receive learning support and have weak organizational skills. They're using technology activities, and you can see that 92% attend psychologists or have attended a psychologist at some point, and 90% attend mainstream school. And of course, 86% they have weak working memory. So, but this is not a general description of all students diagnosed with ADHD. This is for the specific group of 117 that we had. In terms of medical history, you can see that there is some characteristics here. So the most important thing to note is that out of the 117, 46% were taking medication. In terms of comorbidity, there is 73% in our infographic that has developmental coordination disorder and also dyslexia or other specific learning difficulties. Now, in terms of the project and the different challenges the last 2 years, within February and May 2018, we had the challenge of actually attracting the students, and we managed to have more students that we could also financially afford for the pilot project, which shows the interest of the stakeholders is quite high. And that was only for Ireland. From March to May, we had to update and improve the content of Wordsworth learning with augmented reality 3D learning objects. Then we had to integrate the system and finally roll out the solution, and right now we are ongoing on the evaluation process. At this stage, we started collecting the results. We have done a lot of dissemination activities. You can follow our journal and conference publications and different talks. We've been voted in the top 20 finalists at the OGI European Awards. And we're moving towards the sustainability plan of the project, because as a coordinator, I think it is important that we make an impact for the students, but our case study and the pilot, the results that we are receiving, they're so positive that I think it's good to be seen at European level, and maybe for other subjects as well, not just for literacy, but for STEM subjects could be applied, as well as for foreign languages. I will not take time from Rita's time because it is valuable. She is our expert. And I will talk to you about the project after the coffee break in terms of the development. So thank you again for coming today.
Thank you, Eleni. Ci sono domande riguardo la presentazione del progetto? Yes.
It's Rita, yeah?
This project is all about spelling and reading. Okay? What about numeracy and mathematics? Are you thinking about?
We have lined up our next project, which will start 1st of November and will be announced within the next couple of weeks for STEM subjects in Europe. Yeah.
So it's more like secondary school because this is like primary school.
This is for primary school, and we will still be targeting primary schools, but we are open for secondary school students as well.
Okay.
Key stage 2, key stage 1. What year of students you got?
This is 4th, 5th, and 6th class of primary school, so yeah.
Until 11 years old, right?
11, 12, depending.
Because it's different in Italy because our primary school just ends at 9, 10 years, and just the second step instead is until 12. Well, yeah, 12.
The middle school.
Yeah, the middle school. No, it's the primary.
Yeah, but for us it's until our second step.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
So it's applicable even to the other.
Okay. Thank you, Eleni.